Hello, and welcome to the 43rd episode of Scripture in a Year, hosted by Saints Peter and Paul Orthodox Church in the Albanian Archdiocese of the OCA. Today's reading is Deuteronomy Chapters 13 to 16. Every word I command you today, be careful to observe. You shall not add to it nor take away from it. If a prophet or a dreamer of dreams arises among you, and he gives you a sign or wonder today, and the sign or the wonder he spoke to you comes to pass, saying, "Let us go and serve other gods you have not known," you shall not listen to the words of that prophet or dreamer of dreams. For the Lord your God is testing you to know whether you love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul. You shall walk after the Lord your God and fear him and keep his commandments and obey his voice. You shall hold fast to him. But that prophet or dreamer of dreams shall be put to death, because he has spoken to lead you astray from the Lord your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt and redeemed you from bondage, to entice you from the way the Lord your God commanded you to walk. So you shall put away the evil from your midst. If your brother, the son of your father or mother, the son of your daughter, the wife of your bosom, or your friend who is as your own soul, secretly entices you, saying, "Let us go and serve different gods you have not known, neither you nor your fathers, of the gods of the nations around you, near to you or far off from you, from one end of the earth to the other end of the earth," you shall not consent to him, nor listen to him, nor shall your eye pity him, nor shall you spare him or conceal him, but you shall make a report about him. Your hand shall be first against him to put him to death, and afterward the hands of all the people. So they shall stone him with stones until he dies, because he sought to turn you away from the Lord your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt, from the house of bondage. So all Israel will hear and fear, and not again continue to do according to the word of this evil among you. If you hear someone in one of your cities the Lord your God gives you to dwell in, saying, "Lawless men have gone out from among you and enticed the inhabitants of their city, saying, 'Let us go and serve different gods you have not known,' then you shall inquire and search diligently. So if the report is indeed true and certain that this abomination was committed among you, you shall surely strike all the inhabitants of that city with the edge of the sword, utterly destroying it and everything therein. You shall gather all its plunder into the middle of the street and completely burn the city and all its plunder with fire before the Lord your God. It shall be uninhabited forever. It shall never be built again. Thus none of the accursed things shall remain in your hand, so the Lord may turn from the fierceness of his anger and show you mercy and have compassion on you and multiply you in the manner the Lord swore to your fathers. If you listen to the voice of the Lord your God to keep all his commandments, I command you today, to do what is good and pleasing before the Lord your God. You are the children of the Lord your God. You shall not engage in purificatory rites, nor shave your head between your eyes for the dead. For you are a holy people to the Lord your God, and the Lord chose you to be a people for himself, a special people above all the nations on the face of the earth. You shall not eat any abomination. These are the cattle you may eat, the young bull of the oxen, the male lamb of the sheep, and the young male of the goats. And you may also eat the deer, the gazelle, the antelope, the wild goat, the mountain goat, the gazelle, and the mountain sheep. You may also eat every animal with cloven hooves, having the hoof split into two parts, and that chews the cud among the animals. Nevertheless, of those that chew the cud or have cloven hooves, you shall not eat such as these: the camel, the hare, the rabbit, for they chew the cud but do not have cloven hooves. They are unclean for you. Also the swine is unclean for you, because it has cloven hooves, yet does not chew the cud. You shall not eat their flesh or touch their dead carcasses. These you may eat in all of the waters. You may eat all that have fins and scales, but whatever does not have fins and scales, you shall not eat. It is unclean for you. All clean birds you may eat, but those you shall not eat: the eagle, the vulture, the buzzard, the red kite, the falcon, and the kite after their kinds, every raven after its kind, the ostrich, the short-eared owl, the seagull, and the hawk after their kinds, the heron, the swan, and the ibis, the cormorant, the hawk, the hoopoe, and the owl, the pelican, the plover after their kind, and the purple coot and the bat. Also every creeping thing that flies is unclean for you. They shall not be eaten. You may eat all clean birds. You shall not eat anything that dies of itself. You may give it to the alien in your cities that he may eat it, or you may sell it to a foreigner, for you are a holy people to the Lord your God. You shall not boil a lamb in its mother's milk. You shall tithe all the increase of your grain the field produces year by year. You shall eat before the Lord your God in the place he chooses to have his name called upon there. You will bring in the tithe of your grain, wine, and olive oil, of the firstborn of your oxen and sheep, that you may learn to fear the Lord your God all your days. But if the journey is too long for you, so you are not able to carry the tithe, or if the place the Lord your God chooses to put his name is too far from you when the Lord your God has blessed you, then you shall exchange it for money. Take the money in your hands and go to the place the Lord your God chooses. Then you shall spend the money for whatever your soul desires, for oxen or sheep, for wine or strong drink. For whatever your soul desires, you shall eat there before the Lord your God, and you shall rejoice, you and your household, and the Levite who is within your cities, for he has no part or inheritance with you. At the end of every 3rd year you shall bring out the tithe of your produce. Then the Levite, because he has no portion or inheritance with you, and the resident alien, and the fatherless, and the widow who are within your cities, may come and eat and be satisfied, so the Lord your God may bless you in all the works you do. At the end of every 7 years you shall grant remission of debts. So the order of the remission is as follows. Every debt your neighbor owes you, you shall remit. You shall not demand it back from your brother, because a remission is proclaimed for the Lord your God. You may demand it back from a foreigner, but you shall grant remission of your brother's debt, except when there may be no poor among you. For the Lord your God will greatly bless you in the land the Lord your God is giving you to possess as an inheritance. Only if you carefully obey the voice of the Lord your God, to observe with care all these commandments I command you today. For the Lord your God blessed you in the manner he told you. You shall lend to many nations, but you shall not borrow. You shall rule over many nations, but they shall not rule over you. If there is among you a poor man of your brethren, within any of the cities in your land the Lord your God is giving you, you shall not harden your heart, nor shut your hand from your poor brother. You shall surely open your hands to him, and willingly lend him sufficient for his need, whatever he needs. Beware lest there be a hidden thought in your heart, a transgression of the law, saying, The 7th year, the year of remission, is at hand, and your eye be evil against your poor brother, and you give him nothing, and he cry out to the Lord against you, and it be a great sin among you. You shall surely give him and loan him as much as he needs, and your heart should not be grieved when you give to him, because for this thing the Lord your God will bless you in all your works and in everything to which you put your hand. For the poor will never cease from the land. Therefore, I command you to do this word which says, You shall surely open your hands to your brother, to your poor and needy in your land. If your brother, a Hebrew man or a Hebrew woman, is sold to you and serves you 6 years, then in the 7th year you shall let him go free from you. But when you send him away free from you, you shall not let him go away empty-handed. You shall supply him liberally from your sheep, wheat, and winepress. From what the Lord has blessed you with, you shall give to him. For you shall remember you were a servant in the land of Egypt, and the Lord your God redeemed you from that place. Therefore I command you this thing. But if he says to you, I will not go away from you, because he loves you and your house, because he is well off with you, then you shall take a small awl and pierce his ear at the door, and he shall be your servant forever. Also to your female servant you shall do likewise. It shall not seem hard to you when you send him away free from you, for he has worked the yearly wage of a hired servant in serving you 6 years. Then the Lord your God will bless you in all that you do. All the firstborn males that come from your oxen and sheep you shall sanctify to the Lord your God. You shall do no work with the firstborn young bull, nor shear the firstborn of your sheep. You and your household shall eat it before the Lord year by year, in the place the Lord your God chooses. But if there is a defect in it, if it is lame or blind or has any serious defect, you shall not sacrifice it to the Lord your God. You may eat it within your cities. The unclean and the clean person alike may eat it, as if it were a gazelle or a deer. Only you shall not eat its blood. You shall pour it on the ground like water. Observe the month of the new corn, and keep Pascha to the Lord your God, for in the month of the new corn he brought you out of Egypt by night. Therefore you shall sacrifice Pascha to the Lord your God from the sheep and oxen, in the place the Lord chooses for his name to be called upon there. You shall eat no leavened bread with it. 7 days you shall eat unleavened bread with it, that is, the bread of affliction, for you came out of the land of Egypt in haste, that you may remember the day you came out of the land of Egypt all the days of your life. And no leaven shall be seen among you and all your borders for 7 days, nor shall any of the meat you sacrifice on the first day at twilight remain until morning. You must not sacrifice Pascha within any of your cities the Lord your God gives you, but at the place the Lord your God chooses for his name to be called upon there. There you shall sacrifice Pascha at twilight. At the going down of the sun, at the time you came out of Egypt, you shall roast and eat it in the place the Lord your God chooses, and in the morning you shall turn and go to your houses. 6 days you shall eat unleavened bread, and on the 7th and final day there shall be a feast to the Lord your God. You shall do no work on it, except what must be done for life. You shall count 7 complete weeks for yourself. Begin to count the 7 weeks from the time you begin to put the sickle to the grain. Then you shall keep the Feast of Weeks to the Lord your God, and according to your ability you may offer whatever you wish, as the Lord your God blessed you. You shall rejoice before the Lord your God, you and your son and daughter, your male servant and female servant, the Levite who is within your cities, the resident alien and the fatherless and the widow who are among you, at the place where the Lord your God chooses for his name to be called upon there. And you shall remember you were a servant in the land of Egypt, and you shall be careful to observe these commandments. You shall observe the Feast of Tabernacles 7 days, when you have gathered from your threshing floor and winepress. You shall rejoice in your feast, you and your son and your daughter, your male servant and your female servant, the Levite, the resident alien, the fatherless, and the widow, who are within your cities. 7 days you shall keep a feast to the Lord your God, in the place the Lord your God chooses for himself. And if the Lord your God should bless you in all your produce and all the work of your hands, you will be rejoicing. 3 times in a year all your males shall appear before the Lord your God in the place the Lord chooses, at the Feast of Unleavened Bread, at the Feast of Weeks, and at the Feast of Tabernacles. And they shall not appear before the Lord your God empty-handed. Every man shall give as he is able, according to the blessing the Lord your God gave you. You shall appoint judges and teachers in all the cities the Lord your God gives you, according to your tribes, and they shall judge the people with just judgment. They shall not pervert judgment. They shall not show partiality, nor take a bribe. For a bribe blinds the eyes of the wise and twists the words of the righteous. You shall pursue what is altogether just, that you may live and go in and inherit the land the Lord your God gives you. You shall not plant for yourself any grove or any tree near the altar of the Lord your God, which you build for yourself. You shall not set up a pillar the Lord your God hates. Here ends the reading for today.